doesn't have a poor reputation of being off the mark. But on the day the last vote is cast, they definitely add to the excitement of Indian elections. Various channels and agencies have been putting out their exit polls today after the last phase of polls in Gujarat. Quick disclaimer, these are only projections, not the results. The results for Gujarat and Himachal will be out on the 8th of December. So what do the exit polls and the poll of polls say? Let's begin with the Times Now ETG poll. The Times Now ETG poll says in Gujarat, out of 182 seats, the BJP is set to win 135 to 145 seats with a 46.7% share. If that comes true, then the BJP will get its highest number of seats with a vote share that has actually gone down a bit from 2017, where they had nearly 49% vote share. The Congress, on the other hand, will have dipped quite a bit. 24 to 34 seats has been projected as per this poll. I'm talking about the Times Now ETG poll only. And they would be getting a vote share of 23.4%. The Aam Aadmi Party, as per the Times Now ETG poll, would be getting 6 to 16%. But look at the vote share. That's where the story is. As per this poll, they will get 24.2% vote share, up from less than 1. So a huge jump for the Aam Aadmi Party in vote share. As per the poll, and clearly they're eating into the Congress's share. In Himachal Pradesh, the Times Now ETG poll says that out of the 68 seats, the BJP will get 34 to 42, 45.1% vote share. The Congress's vote share will stay at 40.9, between 24 and 32, while the Aam Aadmi Party will get 0 seats, but a 5 to 3% vote share. MCD also gets interesting. As per the Times Now ETG poll, the Aam Aadmi Party is set to sweep the MCD, which has 250 wards. They will get between 146 and 156. Advantage up. The BJP will dip to 84 to 94 seats, and the Congress will really be decimated with 6 to 10 seats. But let's now come to the poll of polls. A poll of polls, put simply, is just an average of the polls that are out there. The reason why this is used as a tool is to reduce the risk of going terribly wrong in a prediction for us broadcasters. It kind of evens things out. So here's the poll of polls for Gujarat. As per this, the BJP will get 131 out of 182 seats. They will be up by 32 from their last tally in 2017. The Congress will score 41 seats, down by 37, and the Aam Aadmi Party is likely to get 7 seats versus the 0 last time. But the true story and the real big story to see is whether the AAP has cut into the Congress vote share. And that's the number we'll be watching for on the 8th. In Himachal, the picture is not as clear. Remember, this is a state that since 1993 has been alternating governments between the Congress and the BJP. By that token, it's the Congress's turn in Himachal. But the polls show that the BJP may just make history and jam that revolving door. The BJP is projected to get 37 out of 68 seats, 7 less than last time. The Congress is expected to get 30 seats, 9 more than last time, but you need 35 for a majority. There are some polls, though, that are predicting the Congress will be ahead. In short, it's a close race. Let's come to the MCD elections that have also come into the limelight, mostly because voting took place around the same time. And the top brass of the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party fought with all their might. This is the first time the Delhi municipal body will have one election. It's been unified after delimitation instead of in 3 parts. And as per the polls, the AAP is sweeping it. They are projected to get 154 out of 250 wards. The BJP could get 84 and the Congress just 6. So what is the implication of all of this? Well, number one, most obvious, BJP retains its stronghold over Gujarat even after 27 years of ruling that state. They seem to have, in fact, benefited from the presence of the Aam Aadmi Party, which has made a serious dent in the Congress votes in Gujarat as per these polls. Himachal will continue to be a close fight. It's a mixed bag of polls on Himachal, and the results will show whether the Congress benefits from the alternating government pattern or loses out despite this election trend. The Aam Aadmi Party once again establishes itself as a Delhi party with its sweep over the MCD polls. So that's the gist of it. What are the national implications? Sanjeev Srivastav, senior journalist, with me on the show. Manisha Priyam, senior journalist, speaking with us today. Smita Gupta on the show, as is Dhananjay Joshi, psephologist. Welcome to all of you. Great to speak with you on the show. Sanjeev, let me begin with you. The Aam Aadmi Party is the headline here, or the BJP is the headline here?
Well, I think the BJP continues to be the headline. Why? Because Delhi MCD, at the end of the day, Delhi is an AAP stronghold, and we all know it since 2014. And so the BJP was winning the MCD elections, but this time AAP captures MCD as well and retains its stranglehold on Delhi politics. But the big win is, of course, Gujarat, where the BJP appears to be, according to poll of polls, headed for its biggest victory or near biggest victory since 2002, despite 27 years. And the reason is, like you just said in your introductory comments, I think the main reason is that the Gujarat has a tradition of very strong pro-BJP and anti-BJP vote. And the anti-BJP vote is getting split this time between our party in most places and in quite a few places. 13 constituencies what Overseas AIMIM is contesting, and whatever vote they take, it will be at the expense of Congress party and will go indirectly in the kitty of BJP. So a three-way split in the non-BJP vote helps BJP perhaps secure a record verdict in its favor since 2002. Himachal is touch and go, and a touch and go election in these times really don't matter, because even if the BJP loses it by a whisker or by a few seats, sooner or later, in a few weeks' time, you'll find a BJP government there in Shimla. So what was a certain victory for Congress party till a few months back, after they won by polls convincingly, has become a close contest, which, whatever the result is, will ultimately benefit the BJP. So it's BJP retaining Gujarat. And
so you know, that's what happens when you have so many successes. Retaining Gujarat was no longer the benchmark for the BJP. It's no longer the benchmark. I mean, last time they got 100 seats, 9,900 seats, and it was, you know, the question was, oh, you won, but you couldn't make it past double digits. So the benchmark has changed. Smita Gupta, as per that benchmark, do you think that the narrative coming out of here is inflation, Berozgari, all of these issues that are being, for example, raised in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, are they not resonating electorally?
Resonating. If one looks at Gujarat very clearly, they haven't resonated. We had that huge bridge disaster where so many people died. And that was a clear case of misgovernance where, you know, the administration had been careless. But report after ground reports that came from there, I saw them. Every single reporter who spoke to local people, they just attributed it to God and fate and so on, and not to the government. So clearly, you know, either, you know, developmental issues of governance don't matter to people, or which I suspect is a very strong factor in Gujarat. That is the factor of, you know, polarization. Because you saw, you know, whether it was the Prime Minister or the Home Minister or the senior leaders of the BJP, they were playing up the terror factor. I mean, there is no terrorism right now. So what were they talking about? So that communal polarization is so strong that it doesn't really affect the developmental issues or issues of governance. And of course, as Sanjeev pointed out, the other big issue was that the major opponent, Congress, the non-BJP vote got split very badly. And though the polls are showing that the number of seats that the Aam Aadmi Party is likely to win are much smaller than those of the Congress, but vote share, it's I mean, I think you said it was about 24 or 25%.
Yes, that's the Times Now. The Times Now ETG poll that I'm quoting. Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. So I mean, that has also played, you know, in the BJP's favor, because the BJP vote has gone down. Actually, at least that's what you said in your opening remarks.
By a smidge, like by about 1% or 2%.
Yeah, but they have increased their seats by about 30, according to the polls.
So Manisha, Priyam, do you think that this is basically the Aam Aadmi Party effect that we're seeing in Gujarat? And the point that Smita Gupta made out of BJP sticking to the core, the Hindutva sort of plank, which has ensured that Morbi, inflation, the whole, spurious liquor deaths that took place, all of that doesn't seem to have made a dent at all in Gujarat.
So the BJP plays its electoral cards very smartly. In 2012, when I first started tracking the Gujarat elections, I could see that the Congress was very close to getting to the poll mark, and there was Rahul Gandhi in lead and command. There was a scheme that he launched for Garib Kalyan and Awas Yojana type of thing, and within minutes, as Mr. Modi's government got a whisker of what the plans of the Congress party was, there was a camp where a lot of direct benefits and cash transfers were done overnight. And you could see that he had snatched the poll plank of the Congress from underneath their nose. At that point of time, there was discontent in Saurashtra. There was a Keshubhai Patel factor. But here was a Modi who was not willing to let up on any plank. In 2017, severe discontent. And you could see a rural agitation in the form of Hardik Patel leading that agitation. There was discontent on the issue of GST. None other than Mr. Arun Jaitley had to go down to Surat to alleviate the grievances of the traders. Now, look at the fact that out of the three boys who were the face of the discontent in Gujarat, two of them are now with the BJP itself, and Hardik Patel, who was the face of the discontent of the Patels and the Patidars, is now with the BJP, having been jailed, etc. So it's not just Hindutva, it's a solid caste plank that is played. And Alpesh Thakur is a Thakur, and Thakurs in Gujarat are not just Rajputs as we believe and see them in North India. There are also the OBCs. So a lot of very minute micro politics played. And I think where the BJP is definitely done, beyond all expectations, is perhaps in the northern, in the Purvi Patti region, where there is a scheduled tribe population, and the Congress traditionally has played a neck and neck politics with the BJP in that region. And I would say that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, had he invested himself in Gujarat, even if he lost the elections, he would have consolidated whatever has traditionally remained with him in all these 27 years. And therefore, this election, one more time, if it happens on poll day, along the lines of what we've seen in the exit polls, it would be for the Congress party to lose. I just take 1 second to say that everybody hyped saying that it's the Aam Aadmi Party that's going to debut there, etc. In most polls that I've seen across 4 regions, I think they've not had a very major share. There is no caste coalition that's backing the Aam Aadmi Party. So maybe they've pitched their tents into some minor grievances in Surat and in the Saurashtra region.
So that vote share story, Manisha, and let me just pull up the poll of polls, what all the polls are saying about Gujarat, because there are various, the range as far as the AAP is concerned is quite wide. It goes as high as 21. It's as low as 6. The average comes to about, 7, 8 if I look at all. So the range is quite high. And then, of course, there's the vote share question. So are they beginning to position themselves as a key opposition party in the state? Because if you remember, all of this time, the BJP and the Congress were all saying that AAP doesn't count. Why are you talking about AAP? It's BJP and it's Congress.
If the Congress party with the consistent vote percentage of about 40% in Gujarat was not a major opposition party, a party with 10 and 15% is a major opposition party. Why? Because it's a new name. Why? Because we think they can, Rahul Gandhi is weak and they can take the lead position. The fact is that when you will see it, you will find that in one region, in a large state as like Gujarat, and typical of most of the states in India, where you have regional divides, I don't see which caste coalition is backing the Aam Aadmi Party. Is it an urban party? Is it taking away the votes in central Gujarat, where the BJP does tremendously well, where more than 60 of the seats are concentrated. So if the Aam Aadmi Party is not there to defeat the BJP, if the Aam Aadmi Party is not enmeshed in caste coalitions, can somebody explain to me why it is considered a major contender? Just because the sound bites were too many more, just because it's a new party,
Right.
and therefore we must give them advantage of being a new party. You know, what I don't understand is, what is the script that you read of the 15% that the Aam Aadmi Party is probably getting? I'm not even giving them 6
I
or
don't
7
know
or
if
8.
it's 15.
Let me say
No, I don't know
15%.
if it's 15. There is one poll saying 24%. I don't know
Okay,
if it's
fine,
going to be 15 or 5 or 24 or 0. We don't know. These are only exit polls. And that really is the question which will need to be answered on the 8th.
Yeah,
did
are
they-
the Patidars,
did they-
are the
when they-
Patidars or the Thakurs or the scheduled tribes, which caste groups in Gujarat are, you know, strongly saying, oh, Aam Aadmi Party is our party now? Are they doing very well in the scheduled
Exactly.
tribe population?
Exactly.
Which,
So
where are
we
they
don't
doing?
know. We don't know. We don't know because that's been their
Arvind
play so far.
Kejriwal, a leader
Dhananjay
like
Joshi.
Mukesh Tiwari.
Dhananjay Joshi wants to come in. So Dhananjay Joshi, I think one thing which will be decided on the 8th, it's seeming like a given that the BJP will win, retain and improve in Gujarat. It's seeming mostly like a given. We don't know what's going to happen in Himachal, but if the BJP, you know, makes history, etc. The other question to be finalized on the 8th is whether the AAP just showed up in Gujarat or did they make a dent?
Well, the sense that we are getting looking at all polls is that they've of course made a dent, and that dent might not translate into any seats. I won't be surprised even if they stop at 2 or 3 seats for that matter. But if they are getting 8 to 10% votes, from where are those votes coming? And whatever little
Is it 10?
crosstabs
Is 1
we've been,
minute.
whatever
Your
data we've
projection,
been
Dhananjay, your 1 minute,
seeing,
1 minute. Your projection is 10?
no,
Your
I'm not
projection
giving
is
my
10%?
projection over here. No,
Okay.
I'm just look. No, I'm not. I'm not giving my projection over here because I've not conducted an exit poll, so I'm not in a position to make a projection here. But looking at the poll data of different agencies, different channels that we've been looking at for all these years, the sense that I get is that even if an Aam Aadmi Party gets 10 to 12% votes, it's going to damage the Congress in a big way. And the BJP's success of getting whatever 130, 140 seats, and if we were to take some of the polls seriously, which are giving Aam Aadmi Party 20% and Congress 25%, if those are the vote shares, BJP could break the 1985 record of Madhav Singh Solanki and get 150 seats as well. If the vote distribution is BJP 48, 50%, Congress at about 25%, give and take 2 percentage points, and let's say the Aam Aadmi Party at about 18 to 20%. If let's say this were to happen, the BJP could end up getting more than 150 seats as well. It's simple arithmetic. On the other hand, I think Manisha ji's question is pretty valid. From where is the Aam Aadmi Party getting its vote? So whatever little data some channels have shared, is indicating that it's a tribal vote on the one hand and a big dent in the Muslim vote. So the votes that the Aam Aadmi Party is taking away, if we were to take those polls seriously, would be damaging the Congress, and that is the big story for the BJP. So the BJP might end up losing 2 percentage points or 3 percentage points and still nearly double their, not double, sorry, that's going to be a sweep, but okay, about add 30, 40 seats to their kitty. That's a possibility.
Dhananjay, let me come to you now on Himachal. Himachal seems to be one of those that no one wants to bet on.
Yeah.
Clearly, one poll saying that the Congress will be ahead. Most others, and that's why the poll of poll also, giving the BJP an edge, but not a massive edge. It's fairly close. Is the BJP going to rewrite history when it comes to Himachal?
Well, I would just go with Sanjeev ji, and he's a senior, experienced journalist. So if it's a close call, then within a week or 2 weeks, you know who's going to be in power, or maybe a month or 2 months. So if it's that close a call. On the other hand, all surveys. Yeah, exactly. So if the BJP, if the Congress gets, you've seen what happened in Karnataka, you've seen what happened in Madhya Pradesh, you've seen what happened in Maharashtra. So if the Congress is struggling to be in power, then they don't have the wherewithal today to hold that struggle. On the other hand, the BJP can just, take a few MLAs away, form a new party or form and get their support, or straight away have a re-election. We've seen states where, like in Madhya Pradesh, there was no new
No, I
party,
want to come to
and all
I
those
want to come to Sanjeev
MLAs
since you're
from Mr.
sure.
Scindia's faction went to the BJP.
So we've
Yeah.
seen it happening again and again. So I know why Sanjeev is saying this. But Sanjeev, I just want to talk about the normalization of this trend. Because people are voting in this election. People are legitimately voting in this election. And today we're talking about it because, political stories are like that. This is what's likely to happen. But the fact is it shouldn't be.
Well, I don't want to live in any kind of utopia or utopian world. That's a fact of life. It's just as it is just as well for the Congress party that it fights a close election and loses it, rather than it fights a close election and wins it. Because even that win will translate into a loss in a matter of days or weeks or max a month or two. So that's an irrelevant. And it's not just the BJP which is to be blamed for that. The Congress will also be to be blamed for that. They'll have 3 chief ministerial contenders. One of them will become a chief minister. 2 others will look at ways to, cut that chief minister to size, and they will look for greener pastures and all of that. So that's a story which we have visited enough during the last couple of years. And one cannot, if people really want Congress party, they need to vote for it decisively. Otherwise, whatever happens, ultimately you'll have a BJP government. But the important state is really Gujarat. After 27 years, if they still win, and by all indications, if they win by a record margin, and if they better their 2002 record, that's some kind of an achievement. But the BJP is just very good at arranging the electoral equations. So it doesn't matter where the AAP party is getting its vote from. What matters is if it is getting a 10% vote share or 9% or 8% or 11%, a bulk of that is coming from a traditional Congress vote bank. So at the end of the day, if the anti-Congress, anti-BJP vote is split, how do you stop a BJP landslide? And the BJP arranges that. Why talk about Gujarat and Himachal? You look at the Gopalganj Bihar by-election, where the BJP won by 2,000 votes, and Mayawati and AIMIM both got 8,000, 9,000 votes each. So between them, they took 18,000 votes. BJP won by 2,000 votes. So BJP, they are an election, they 24/7 focused election machinery. The day they won,
that's become such a tired term. I was thinking to myself, how long will we go without saying the election machinery of BJP?
Prime Minister was in Gujarat having a road show. The day they won, UP is such a big win. Prime Minister was there, and Rahul Gandhi invested one day in Gujarat. So you just have to see and compare the hunger of the two sides, the focus of the two sides, and the complete mismatch of, apart from the intelligence and political machinery being deployed, you also have to take into account the complete mismatch. There's not even a comparison in terms of resources.
So there's no, terms of resources, that's an important point. Manisha, Priyam, Sanjeev Srivastav talked about Rahul Gandhi, and I want to mention the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which on the ground, there are a lot of reports, people are going, for it. Is it in a parallel political universe, which seems to have nothing to do with the humdrum of elections, of Indian elections? It didn't touch Himachal, it didn't touch Gujarat.
It's drawing Venn diagrams on Indian geography, right? And if you've done any amount of Venn diagrams, you know that you have your own
Too many
universe.
in school.
Yeah, you have your own universe. You don't allow the circles to intersect. Now, I remember the 2012 elections was being led by Rahul Gandhi in the lead. There was a war room for the Gujarat elections in Delhi. There were young leaders. There was Deepak Babaria, there was, Arjun Modwadia, there was Paresh Dhanani, and of course, Shakti Singh Gohil. Look at the lineup that he had. But one Ahmed Patel, who by 2017, Rahul Gandhi felt, this is the old leadership and I don't need to. But the absence of one Ahmed Patel has given this dent to Gujarat, right? So I think you were tired of the word election machinery. I think I am tired of saying that the Congress party needs to understand what its political sociological script is on the ground, what type of leadership it requires to win elections in states. I can already see that a Narendra Modi is already prepared in Gujarat to fight if the Aam Aadmi Party should come. I will see a lot of young faces being rolled out who can take on the Aam Aadmi Party also. And I mean, for example, look at Hardik Patel going to the other side. So I would just say that in Gujarat, we were told all along that the BJP is going to win, but the election is really about the opposition. What has happened? You are probably close to saying that Gujarat is a one-party political system, and you had a complete decimation of the opposition. And to that extent, even Mr. Arvind Kejriwal will probably need to understand that in Indian politics, if he's pitching himself to be a political party that can take on the BJP, that can take on the Chehre ki Rajniti, and it can be a Kejriwal versus Modi type of thing. There is something called coalition politics. The socialists played it for long enough. The BJP was a part of that coalition politics. Now, there are many scripts, many routes through which state elections can be won. And clearly, the Gujarat election tells you that the Congress had a vote bank which was very, very large. It needed to perhaps assess where it was weak, get other parties, play collaborative games, and put up a fight against the Congress party. This time around, I think all those options have been foreclosed. The coming in of the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat has only meant that we've confirmed today that we have a one-party political system in Gujarat. Now, there may have been mistakes, as Smitaji is very eminently pointed out. There is Morbi. There is obviously the Bilkis Bano case that, I as a woman started to even mention about. There are issues, but was there a making of an electoral strategy out of grievances? No. You only had the note chapo propaganda where Lakshmi ji and Ganesh ji will be printed on Indian notes. This is the propaganda that finally started coming out of the Aam Aadmi Party. So what I clearly want to say is that political parties that say that they want to be the opposition to Mr. Modi and Mr. Modi's BJP, I think they need to understand their script in state elections also much better. I mean, regional parties have defeated the BJP in many elections in the recent past. Are there other more alternate scripts that can be written in states, even states such as Gujarat? Are there ways in which caste coalitions can be combined together if political alliances cannot be done together? And those scripts perhaps will in the future be the road even to an opposition, let alone supplanting a Congress BJP-led government.
I find the Aam Aadmi Party's strategy also interesting, Smita. Obviously, in Gujarat, they did not have a chance of really toppling the status quo, right? The best they can hope for is what the best case scenario is in the polls today, that they eaten majorly into the Congress's vote share. What are they trying to do? What is Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party's strategy? I can understand MCD is an extension of their Delhi play, but they fought in Himachal, they fought in Gujarat. What are they trying to establish nationally?
Well, I think 2-3 things. One is that the Aam Aadmi Party, I mean, it's a very ambitious party. Mr. Kejriwal is a very ambitious man. He wants to emerge as, the alternate to the Congress, or replace. I won't say alternate. He wants to replace the Congress party and become like a pole of Indian politics. Secondly, I know several speakers on this panel said that, the Aam Aadmi Party, who does it stand for? It doesn't, do they have tribals? Do they have OBCs? Do they have this? But that's not the game they play. You can see if you look at Delhi, slum dwellers have voted for them. Upper sort of middle class, well-to-do people have voted for them. So their ticket is not, though they have tried to introduce this Vishnu Lakshmi business recently, which was a big mistake. But basically, they are playing the education, health, the good governance card, which appeals to a wider range of people who are not necessarily differentiated by caste and so on. So their appeal is different. And if these exit poll results are correct and they have polled as much as 20%, it means they have picked up votes from all kinds of people, young people, retired people, professionals, maybe tribals, a little bit of everything. Whereas the Congress probably, if it has got roughly the same vote share and a larger number of seats, they have got it in a few areas. You look at the comparison with Uttar Pradesh, for instance. BSP often, gets a larger number of votes than Samajwadi Party, but Samajwadi Party manages to get a larger number of seats because they're concentrated in a few areas, whereas the BSP's vote is thin. I mean, it's just trying to explain that, how, despite polling, if these figures are right, it should get only 5 or 6.
What's your take on, Smita ji, what is your take on Himachal? What is your take on Himachal? Do you think Himachal is also a done deal for the BJP, or is it closer than you think? Most of the polls seem to suggest that the BJP will break tradition and come back in Himachal.
I think it's a very close contest in Himachal Pradesh, but as Sanjeev said at the outset, I don't disagree with that view. That if they lose by a bit, perhaps it's better, because if they win by a bit, they won't be in power for very long. But it is a very close contest because the chief minister, the incumbent chief minister, is extremely unpopular. But on the other hand, the Congress hasn't been able to, work hard enough or project itself hard enough to, actually rout the BJP. So I think it's going to, the reports, all the reports that one gets suggest that it's a close contest.
All right, so more of the same. If I were to look at a snapshot of Indian elections pre this exit poll day, or before these set of polls, this was the large narrative. BJP, dominant national political party, near hegemony in pretty much every aspect. The Congress continuing its decline, and the Aam Aadmi Party, the new contender / upstart. And if these exit polls really mirror what we see in a few days from now, that narrative or that story will definitely continue. We'll wrap this conversation here. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. We hope to see you back here on the 8th when we'll see the real numbers and what came out of it.